Welcome to the makeover episodes of 3 and 4 of America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. All right, welcome back to another episode of Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Reviews. We are talking about episodes 3 and 4. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Let's get right into it. So, Ariel, Dayton's facing pressure from her mom as per usual. But Princess Ariel, we need her to do higher kicks. She's been saying she's been going to PT. This is my first time learning this. I didn't know that you could go to PT to get more flexibility. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I personally, like, that's my girl and everything. But when she said, maybe it's a different shoe, and then the cameraman is messy, he zoomed right in to everybody's shoe is the same. I was like, listen, if your extension's not there, it's not there. Okay, it's nothing you did, it's not there, it's not there. So I have on here the kick line there. So basically they're going into the kick line. They're still at boot camp. I'm going to the kick line, and I have basically like a breakdown of what you need for the kick line. You need stamina, you need face guard, and you should only be doing this 5 years max. 5 years maximum, only because of just the wear and tear of the body of doing a kick line, throwing your leg up and up, up and up. I feel like to me, like, you can't be throwing your kicks up and you're like, ugh, ugh. Like, it's like you're kind of like stuck in, like, your face is kind of like, ugh, ugh, like you're stuck. Or you look like it hurts. So definitely, I think they should cut Ariel, but I want to see some improvement. And the fact that she has a PT, but I personally should cut her, even though I don't want to cut my fellow melanated queen. But to me, if you're already struggling to put your legs up already, that scares me. I have on here the cut, still 9 people to go. They haven't cut anybody. And I'm just like, if you're going to make me learn like 9, 10 choreos and then you didn't cut me yet, like, that scares me. I have on here cut Ariel as a mercy, cut Dayton as a mercy. I feel like, to me, with Dayton, I know what that feels like. You know, I can put myself in her shoes. I know what that feels like to, I know what it feels like to have it where you want to just impress your mom. And especially with a legacy, like, there's a lot on the line with her. There's a lot on the line with her, as in, she is almost embarrassed the fact that it's taken her this long, because Dayton's I want to say, I have on here Dayton has auditioned like 3 times, and she keeps getting right to the finish line, and then like she gets the finish line, like, gets taken away from her or whatever, but like she's never fully made it all the way there. Like, even if she made it there and then she had a re-audition the next year, that would have been better. But so Claire Marie I have on here, Claire Marie has killer hair, killer eyes. I like her look. I have on here too, the tiny issue, the height thing, because they're saying how like certain girls are so tiny and petite. We had this issue last year where they were like, oh, it looks like a little girl running on the field, like, cut it down to 35. And I'm just like, me personally, like, when it comes to height, I feel like, a lot of people don't understand this, so it's a little fun fact. When DCC first started, they were only hiring models. Like, they were pretty much hiring girls about 5'7", right, under 6 feet to do it. But they realized that, number one, because they were model skinny, they didn't have stamina. Like, when I was at my 120, 130, when I was a little bobblehead. And I just feel like you don't have the stamina to go out on a field. Like, they're doing 5 games, like, they're doing minimum 10, 15 home games a season. Like, you know, coming from in a short amount of time. Like, it'll be quiet during the winter and then a short amount of time. So imagine keep doing, like, you doing that back to back. Like, I need someone who has stamina. I feel like Dayton's not going to have the emotional stamina to last that long. And then I also feel like Ariel's extension worries me a little bit, but I love her spirit. She's so freaking cute. Like, I know she's a grown up, but she's adorable. And then Claire Marie has great hair. Why did I have that on here? I don't know why I have on here. Claire Marie has great hair, but you know, you just watching, as I'm watching the episode, like, you can just tell, like, the girls are tired, but like they still have to show a fresh face. And like, literally, it's kind of like with Heidi Klum be saying, one day you're in, one day you're out. I don't know why I gave that accent, but one day you can be good at the choreo, but the next day you could be tired. So I always wonder, like, I have a question. Like any DCC person can answer it. What do y'all do at the time of the month? Let me know. So now we're on to the makeover. So basically they're looking to see what type of looks everybody has, which me personally, I feel like one thing I love about DCC is the fact that they're very inclusive, as in they have a hairologist, basically probably Nigerian. They have a hairologist who personally comes in and does everybody's hair, and who's melanated, and then so basically Ariel's makeover, they're gonna basically take her extensions out and give her a wig and give her a cut, because she basically has tape-ins. Like it's kind of like hers, like she kind of has like almost like a fusion like mine's, like her real hair is like in the front, like her real hair is in the front and it's kind of like melted with the hair, which I think that looks more seamless. Like I personally, like I'm not a fan of lace front wigs anymore. I know it's just, no matter what you do, they always look fake, and then like the powder that you put on it can just look not good. And then my thing too is like when it comes to wig, if I were to wear a wig and that type of with being a DCC, like I would want a full coverage ear to ear lace, because there'll be plenty of times where you're whipping your hair. Like I don't want to whip my hair and then like you see like the end piece, and then I also think about sweat as well. So speaking of wigs, so Armani, who is Armani, I want to make sure I'm making sure I'm saying her name right. I'm so sorry. Armani, who is one of the group leaders. Basically, she has alopecia because her father, she goes into it saying her father had alopecia. She had hair at first, and then one day it just all fell out in clumps. So she has her wigs, and the wig grip, like I said, that wig grip is A1, because her hair, I didn't even know she had no hair under. I just thought her eyes were like her eyebrows were kind of painted on, but like I feel personally like it's so dope that they have somebody representing them there. Because I remember when I was modeling, like I would just make sure my hair was done beforehand, or I had a relaxer at the time, so it was very easier for them to manipulate my hair. But I remember that fear of thinking like, oh my God, like I don't know if when I come here, are they gonna do my hair right? Are they gonna burn it to an inch of his life? So just having that familiarity, that comfortability to have that. Jada wears her hair in its natural state. When she first auditioned, like her hair was like long, straight. I'm so glad she went natural, because it looks so much better. Like it gives her like a youth to her. Like she looks so young. Like she's just model. Just model. That's all I hear. Model. Just model. But yeah, I definitely like everybody's makeovers. I think Abby, they made her more of a red. I wish they would have went all the way. It looks more auburn, it looks more like an auburn. A couple of the blondes, they blonded them more. Some of them, they brought them down. But I love the fact that like they invest in these girls. Like they were saying how like, they have like certain sponsors now that they're starting to build more money. Okay, now it's time to pay the girlies. But they have more sponsors. So like, everybody gets their teeth whitened, hair, and then like they do based off of like, I feel like this is kind of similar to America's Next Top Model, where everybody, kind of similar to America's Next Top Model, where everybody gets like a certain look. But I like the fact that a lot of the hair or whatever is based off of movement. Like, can it move? Like there's choreography and then there's hairography. Like I don't need, like this goes for I put a video snippet too as well that people who are not of color also get tape-ins and extensions as well. And I like that they highlighted that, because we get such, like Black women get such a bad rep because it looks so good and they be confused. But like we get such a bad rep for wearing extensions, but we are not the only ones. Like we only learn from what y'all taught us. Okay, we don't learn from what y'all taught. We just made it better. But yeah, definitely for sure. I love the fact that they show tape-ins. And then like, I guess my final question before I get into episode 4 is that, who's footing this bill? Because I know they said they pay them a certain amount and like everything's covered. But I'm like, I sweat in my head. Like I had straight hair for all of 3 weeks, because I straightened the front of my hair. I know as clear hair, I don't also do that, but I straightened the front of my hair for 3 weeks. Oh my goodness. It was such a struggle, because I would straighten it, it would go back, straighten it, reverse. So with tape-ins, I don't know. I just wish for Ariel, especially since Ariel's a little spitfire. I wish for Ariel, I wish they would have gotten I wish they would have gotten extensions that like really mimicked, or even a half wig, you know, to really fill that in. So episode 4 opens and we're still reeling from the fact that, guess what? They cut they cut Dayton, my bad. And they were saying, so Dayton's mom goes on the camera and she's like, Dayton's mom goes on the camera and she's just like, you know, the first time they cut her, like, I didn't talk to nobody. Basically, she was just there so she wouldn't get fined. She was just there to collect her check. And it shows in another instance that Judy and Kelly were like, oh, we were not even aware if there was ever an issue, blah, blah. I was like, girl, girl, messy. But yeah, like, definitely for sure, Kelly was thinking that, is she going to retaliate? Like, is she going to retaliate? And my thing too is just like, no offense, Kelly, but like, who's going to go to their boss and be like, you cut my daughter? Like, come on now. Like, if she really was upset, she's not going to tell you, you know? And it showed them on camera, like, crying a lot about, I'm coming from, like, it showed a lot about them crying about, like, the whole overall. And my thing about it is just that, I can see from both sides. I'm not saying I'm a devil's advocate, but I can see from both sides because, like, on one side, like, Shelly is just like, they didn't tell me they were going to cut her. I was like, it's a professional thing. Like, for example, like, I was friends with a supervisor before, and there were certain things she couldn't tell me, and I respected her about. I would never ask her to do that. Would never. That's so inappropriate. I would never ask her to do that. That's your livelihood. Like, when people find out that I'm an accountant, the first thing they say is, can you do my taxes? I'm just like, that's inappropriate. Okay, like, do not ask me to do your taxes. I will not be doing them. Okay? Like, this is my whole job. You feel me? Besides being a content creator. But, like, this is, like, my whole job. Like, I don't want to ever mix friendship in that aspect. So that's why, like, I personally, it's very easy for you to be friends with your supervisor, blah, blah, but I feel like there's certain boundaries you have to put up. So I feel like in that way, like, I feel like it was a little unfair for Dayton's mom to expect them to be like, hey, we cutting your daughter today. Like, come on, girl. Like, why would she tell you that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would she tell you, hey, we're cutting your daughter today? Like, that's insane. But they end up cutting her, and then they ended up cutting Cooper. Cooper, I wasn't really attached to her. I don't really know her like that. But they still need one more cut. So they ended up cutting Cooper, but the biggest one was Bright was the biggest one. I want to call her Bryce so bad, but the biggest one was Dayton because, they felt like she just wasn't ready. And like, they gave her tape-ins as well. I forgot to say that, from episode 3, they gave her tape-ins as well. And I really loved the fact that there was a lot of love there. Like, they were just like, hey, it's this little thin on the top. The thin is from the stress. Like, me, like, I'm blessed to where my stress does not show, but it's in my back. Like, my masseuse, which I should have a masseuse on retainer, by the way. My masseuse, like, I remember I was at the most stressed, like, while I was gone for 4 months. I have that video coming up soon, too. But my masseuse was in my back. He was like, who did you battle? I take my stress in my back. Some people, they take their stress in their hair. Some people take their stress in their face, so... I feel like I'm coming from, like, I really feel like she took a lot of the stress in her hair, and like, it's just heartbreaking because, like, all she wants to do is make her mom proud, but at what cost? Like, I feel like very linear to Victoria, like Brighton, like very linear to Victoria, Dayton pretty much is just trying her best, but it's still not good enough, which I get it, because I'm just like, this is a different world. Like, I don't know if she'd be able to like face off against this as well. And then just her facial expressions, so right now Dayton's mom, like, she's pretty much in the same aspect that, like, I'm just here for my check. She's here again to do that. But I also feel like from her perspective, like from Dayton's mom perspective, like, you gotta understand that when you audition, yesterday's requirements is not today's requirements. Like, even though I have my degree, if I was in school now, I wouldn't be able to get it. Like, the requirements have doubled, if not tripled now, okay? Like, the requirements I have, I can pass with that. The requirements, like, those, they're on a different level. I also have on here too. Like, I don't like the fact that they pull them. I don't like their cutting off process. Like, they pull them into the room. I'm just like, listen, you ain't gotta do all that. Just tell me I didn't make it. I'll go home. Okay. So this perspective here is where's the money. So this is a $1 billion industry. The NFL is a $1 billion industry, and basically their pay is subpar. And so it is now time to renew contracts. It's now time to renew contracts. So a lot of the veterans are fighting, like with Jada, Shaundi, a lot of the other veterans are like pretty much Jada spearheading it, because you know what, black women, one thing, and Armani, you know what, black women, one thing about we do, we get stuff done. Okay, so they're spearheading this, and it's a $1 billion industry. So right now they have not renewed the contract. So I didn't know there was levels to this. I thought it was water break. I thought it was like when you make the team, like you're signing the contract. Technically, you're signing the contract to be with these people, and that is not the case. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was like once you sign once you say, hey, you're making a team, like you make it, you know. So basically, Jada goes a little bit into her background. She's biracial. A white mother, a black father who is not there because of an addiction problem. Also, Jada is so beautiful. Did we say that already? Okay. So is her family. But yeah, like she just reminds me, she gives me Zendaya energy, very peaceful, very tall. So I just feel like, you know, like she has that background there to try to spearhead that. Then we go into Shaundi's background. Shaundi is actually adopted, and basically when she turned 16, like her adoptive mom and father separated, and basically when she turned 16, like the father, her adopted father came to her and said, hey, you don't have to worry about us anymore at 16 years old. So I feel like that parentified her, you know, and made her like go into her shell more. Like, I don't feel like she's like a natural introvert. I feel like it was like through, you know, nature versus nurture there. You know, like to sit there, I'm just imagining, like, I literally had to pause it because I just started like getting just very upset for her, because to sit there and one, know you're adopted. So you have that in your mindset that no one wanted me, you know, and then two, to have the adopted parents, especially the father, be like, hey, once he turned 16, he was like, man, don't even worry about it. Like, that to me is heartbreaking. Like, I don't understand how, like, that's heartbreaking to me. Like, I don't understand how you can do that. Like, go through, like, I don't know if y'all understand, but the adoption process is, one, very expensive, one, very intrusive. Like, you can't just be like, okay, well, I want to have a kid. You have to truly sit there and think and be like, I want to be a parent. So I feel like that's where like Shaundi's insecurity comes from. Like, when you don't have that father figure in your life, like, I truly feel like unless you do the heavy work, go to therapy and all, like, work through, like, it's just, to me, it's like a natural thing to want to have your father in your life, you know. So I feel like that's kind of like I feel like Jada and Shaundi are perpendicular, you know, in that way. I'm using all my geometry words today. I feel like Jada and Shaundi are perpendicular in that way, where they have that in common, where like their father was not in their life. It depends on how you take it. We'll see as episodes later on. We'll see how you like react to that, but I don't know. It was just really nice to like know that level of transparency, because I'm always honored when somebody wants to share their life with me, because I know it is a privilege. It is not a requirement. Okay, it is a privilege to be in somebody's life. So just one more point before I end the episode. So we're in our top 36. We still need to make one more cut, even though we cut Dayton, baby girl Dayton, and then Cooper. So we need to make one more cut. Overall, I really enjoyed these episodes. I love me a makeover episode. But definitely the money, like with where's the money, to know these girls are athletes. Like, these girls are athletes. They're one of the reasons why I even know who the Cowboys are. I know, don't come in my comments with the nonsense, but definitely for sure, like, they're iconic. They're iconic. Like, I don't get it. Okay, like I don't get the pressure. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're not getting paid when they're part of the reason why they're even, relevant. But we'll have to see on today and tomorrow's episode.